You're huge into fashion. Where did those interests emanate from?
I think I was always into fashion, but I got something in the mail one day. I was probably like 18. It's like, oh, come to fashion school. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And I showed my mom, and it was in Tampa, which is about 3 hours away from where I live. She's like, that's too far. I didn't realize at the time I was an adult and I could make my own choice, but I found a school that was like a driving distance, and honestly, that's kind of what sparked everything in fashion for me.
Do you have a fashion icon that you look up to?
Fashion, I think it always changes. I'm definitely on to the latest and greatest, update, don't be late, but some people that I always love are like Ralph Lauren, Matthew Williamson, Armani, you can't go wrong. Some of those things are just really classic, and I absolutely love Prince. It's kind of a basis for 11, our Prince, so I'm always looking for that new inspiration.
What about an inspiration in tennis growing up?
I love Monica. I think she changed the game. So a lot of young women grew up watching Monica and wanting to be so not only physically strong, but mentally strong as well. So I think she kind of was my favorite player and influenced me a lot. And yeah, I think I've told her that too. It's so ironic when you play the person that you looked up to.
And what was that like playing her when you did look up to her?
I don't know. I thought that's a totally different thing. I think by the time I played her, I was at the top of the game. It wasn't like I was just starting. I was, top 5, top in the world. So at that time, and she had gone through so much in her life, and really I think inspired so many people also with that chapter of her life. So by that time, I think in some ways we were on an even playing field.
I told you that I got to spend some time with the McEnroe brothers, and they actually mentioned, especially John, how, because I talked about they played against each other a couple times on the tour, and how John it was impossible for him to compartmentalize the relationship, the sibling rivalry, and the result. And he remarked, I don't know how Serena and Venus do it. I don't know how they're able to be so cordial, respectful, and compete like that for major championships. One year you played all 4 in the final. How do you guys do it?
We have to. I think at the end of the day, we wouldn't want it any other way. Being able to play each other for majors. That's what we dreamed of. That's what we said we were going to try to do when we were kids, and then to actually say something, actually do it is a whole, another thing. So to do that for us is, yes, living our dreams. Of course, someone has to lose, and which is tough because we always root for each other massively. So, yeah, someone has to lose, and hopefully they'll learn from the loss, maybe get the win next time. That's how it goes.
Was there ever a time where the competition did put a strain on the relationship?
No, I mean, there have been so many times where we've played in the major final and then played the doubles final like 2 hours later. So our goal was always, okay, someone's got to lose, but we can both win the doubles. Someone's going home with the title.
But never, not one time was there the competition or it was so important or something happened where it did take a little while to cool down.
No, we always help each other, and I think we always see the bigger picture, and we've always been there for each other. I think for the person who lost, yes, of course, it's hard to get over that loss because it's hard to get over any loss, especially if it's in the final. You have to move on and learn from it.
You mentioned doubles. Do you feel like your doubles accomplishments are underrated and your partnership with your sister is a little underappreciated, almost assume that y'all are going to win every time?
I think doubles in general in tennis is underrated. Like people who come to doubles in tennis and they see how fast it is in those plays, it's so exciting. I personally think that one way to grow the game of tennis is to elevate the doubles competition. I don't know if you feel that way, but
I do.
I do. I think it's exciting, and it's a team competition as well, but that's a whole nother set of worms. Just looking at big picture of tennis competing with other sports, we have to find ways, but in any case, do I think it's underrated? In my life, I don't need to be rated. I got what I've got. I go home and I'm able to see those trophies and hopefully enjoy those good times that we've had together as a family on the court, and for me, that's enough.
I definitely don't relegate doubles considering my most successful events were sitting and playing right next to you. And I actually experienced that after we won the Australian Open in '98. Mm-hmm. We played the finals of the French against Serena and Luis Lobo, and it was awkward. I felt like you two at times were so conscious of each other, whereas we're battling out, and it's blood sport for us. It's definitely a unique dynamic with so much at stake and the affection and relationship that you all have together.
Well, I think we both just wanted to win that match, and I was literally convinced we were going to win that mixed doubles
The
Grand Slam.
yeah.
I really, and like that's
Do you
why
remember what
I
happened?
was so crushed at Wimbledon. That was
blew
one of
it.
my toughest losses.
Is there one thing that the sport has taught you that is most profound?
I think for me, tennis has taught me so many things. How to win, how to lose. I think my biggest wins have come from, tough losses and learning from them. Learning that you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. You got to earn it. There's so many things you learn from sport that you can just transfer into life.
If you could play a player from another generation in a dream match, one match, one time, whom would it be?
I did play Steffi, but it was the end of her career and the beginning of mine, so I didn't really know how to win matches. We had some great matches. I won a few. Probably Navratilova or Billy, or maybe even Chris Evert. Obviously, it would have to be on the same playing ground, like same rackets, same era. Either they'd play when I played, or I would play when they played.
In that note, is it unfair to compare generations because of the opportunity and the technology?
I think it's really, you can't really compare generations because things change. Just in the whole world scene, you can't compare the Model T Ford to, the Ford now. They both were great cars at the time. So at this point, the technology has changed, athleticism has changed, training has changed, all that stuff has changed, but it doesn't mean that players aren't great now and great then.
Center Court Wimbledon has been some of your best moments. 5 Wimbledon singles titles. What is it about that tournament that brings out the best of Venus Williams?
I just think I always had the right attitude. I would get out there and just suddenly turn it on because I had a better attitude at Wimbledon. I don't know. If there's going to be a place to play well, let it be Wimbledon. I don't think any other player would. Yes, maybe they might pretend they're going to choose another tournament, but this is the history of the game. So it's the best place to play well, so I'm glad that it was there. I don't know if I need to offer explanation of why. I'm just glad it was there.